I just started talking about being recognized as one of the greats, not just by MTV, but it's universally acknowledged that you two guys are like two of the best ever to do it. We'll start by with Nas. What does that mean, be acknowledged as one of the greats?
That's everything. Being acknowledged, first of all, is all I wanted, just to be acknowledged when I just got in the game. I knew what I was doing. I was putting a lot into what I was writing, but I just knew that only like a certain amount of people would get it, people that could relate to the stories I was telling. But I never thought that it would grow and I would have a career to continue on and continue on and keep getting acknowledged for the new stuff I was doing, and as I went along I was growing, and the people that was listening to me growing. Then it comes to a point where you've been around for a while and you've been consistent, and then you realize, you're doing your thing is about to be a legacy. Like whenever you say it's over, you can always have that legacy. And then I started to realize, like, a lot of dudes don't survive the length of time. So all of that was a blessing to me. So I think throughout my length of time, it kind of put me in a place where a lot of dudes that came out when I came out didn't get to.
What about you, Ra?
Um, like Nas said, man, it's like the first time you sit down with the notebook, you wanna, you know what I mean, you wanna be with the greats, man. I came up under Grandmaster Caz, Melly Mel, Kumo D, you know what I mean, and seeing what they did and what they was passing to us, like the first thing I wanted was like, wow, I wonder if Melly Mel heard this or if Caz heard this, what would he think? You know what I mean? So that just starts building up in you, man. You know what I mean? And I listen to Nas, since he been out, and I could tell he vigorous with it too. You know what I mean? And on my way here, man, thinking about this, me and Nas got a lot in common, man. His pop was a jazz player. My mom's was a jazz singer. I think that jazz influence, man, coming up around that music, listening to, jazz music, the words, man, the effect that it had on us, and then listening to a jazz instrumental, you can almost see that too, just like his vocals on it, you know what I mean? So coming up, under that influence, man, I think gave us a deeper responsibility or deeper, a deeper route that we was trying to take to, get that poetry across, man.
And I never heard like a flow like his. When I heard a lot of dudes flow. A lot of dudes were screaming. You had a lot of dudes screaming on the mic. So when he came with the total opposite of that, it made everybody freeze. And the way he flowed was like an instrument inside the music, like an added instrument. And then what he's saying on top of that, never been done before. So as he's saying, Melly Mel or those guys, he wanted to know would they accept him or would they like it. You know what I mean? When he just started, I want to know with Rakim, what would he think about my joint? You know what I mean? So it just keeps going.
10 greatest albums last year. I don't know if you saw it, and Paid in Full and Illmatic was 1 and 2. So those two albums really changed the game, lyrically, musically, and really spiritually, if you look at it. What was it like, Rod, when you put your album out? Did you know right away that it was changing rap, or was it something gradual?
Nah, not at all, bro. It's like, the first album we did, we just went to the studio and we just wanted to make a good album, man. You know what I mean? We wanted to make a good hip-hop album. We never sat down to try to make a single. You know what I mean? We never sat down and reached for nothing. We went to the studio, put our idea down, left that day knowing we had to come back tomorrow and put another one down. And at the end of the day, we sat there, we pick a single, turn it in, and, hope it do what it's supposed to do, man.
Man, I'm gonna pose the question to you that I just posed to him. When Illmatic came out, what was that time for you like, man, coming out with such a outstanding buzz?
It was cool for me. It was great for me because I was coming from the legacy of Marley Marl, MC Shan, Juice Crew kind of vibe. I'm knowing these guys are out in the neighborhood. So at that time, the scene was dead. So it was like even rappers from Queens was kind of quiet almost at that era. You know what I mean? So dropping that album right there said a lot for me to carry on the legacy of the Queensbridge Pioneers, carry on the legacy of Queens dudes, and it felt amazing to be accepted by New York City in such a way. You know, and at times I'm saying, you know, wow, you know what I mean? Like, I could really take this somewhere. Like, I could really go to the next level, you know. But again, that time, you know, a lot of West Coast was selling. East Coast wasn't selling as much as West Coast back then. So, especially for a new artist. So, you know, you couldn't tell in the sales back then, but you could tell on the street. So that meant everything.
No doubt. No doubt. That was definitely, you know what I mean, when I first, you know, I met Nas at Power Play Studios before his album came out. But when it came out, the first thing I heard was the buzz on the street. Yo, Nas, boom, 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 Nas, yo, he rhyming, boom, boom, he talking about everything. It's like, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So I went out and got the joint. And the first 2-3 joints that passed, I was like, felt like, you know what I mean, I wasn't the only one trying to, you know, reach for something. And he kind of made me feel normal. You know what I mean? For somebody to come out and spit fire and people to look at him and, you know, yo, boom, boom. It made me feel regular. Like, I can, you know, do what I do without people looking at me like I'm crazy. Why else rhyming like this and you rhyming like this? You know what I mean? So when Nas came out, that kind of started solidifying it for lyricists. Like, yo, never mind what people doing, man. Do you, man. So, you know, he did a lot for my career, man. He may not know that, but he did a lot for my career.
I want to talk a little bit about the style too, because part of being an MC is not just the music that you guys spit, it's also the style, the rope chains, and you know, different things like that. Rob, where was you getting your style from? Who was influencing you style wise, as far as like the clothing and everything, the rings and?
Well, few people played a part in that, man. Mostly like the streets. You know, I was letting the streets influence me heavy, man. As far as, you know, what I rhymed about, what I wore, all that, man. But I had some real people around me, man. My man Rap used to come through, take me to Brooklyn. We used to go get the Fila suits,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean, the two-tone joints back in the day. My man Rap, Preem brother, used to come through. And Rap was another one, man. Back in the day when we was just starting to truck up on the gold, Rap started coming through with the big diamonds on. And we used to be like, Rap, man, what are you doing, bro? Diamonds this big, man. It's like, yo, Rap, come on, man. He jumped in the joint, he took me to the Diamond District, man. And after that, it was a wrap, man. I was going back every week. We get one of those, two of those, one of those, and one of those, man. But, you know, just being around, you know, good people, real people, man, you know, and having down people around you. And like I said, the streets influenced me heavy, man.
Did you have a favorite piece that you rocked back in the days?
Yeah, man. The Benz piece with the diamonds in it, I actually told my man, I said, when you make it heavy enough so I could take it off and beat somebody's brains out with it. So that was like my favorite piece, man. You could take it off, bust somebody in the head with it, look at your joint, ain't a diamond missing, ain't nothing out of place, put it back on, it's good. You know what I mean? But I think that was my favorite one, man. Well done. I think my man Jacob hooked that up for me too. Well done.
That's crazy. Jacob, been around forever.
That's right, man. That was like 87, man. 87.
Nas, you used to get your shine on heavy too, like the QB piece. That's a legendary thing. Where was you getting your style from?
I mean, again, the streets was like, you know, just seeing all the dudes that was like really pioneers in the streets putting it in. And of course, Rakim. You know, you see Rakim with the crazy chain, and I remember the piece, the Benz piece, and then he had the Benz to go with it. You know what I mean? That was just the best thing in the world to see. So, you know, we all waited to do it because, you know, by the time I was able to afford a rope, they was not even in no more. So now I been looking for the ropes, and I've been seeing our brothers been able to bring them back, and I've been trying to get onto that for a minute, and I ain't been able to find the dudes to bring the ropes back. So I'm catching up to them a little bit, slowly but surely. Get me a nice piece made right now as we speak. But definitely the Rakim album. We just stare at the album cover, just look at the jury, just look at the jury, look at the rings, the whole the bracelets, the watches. You know what I mean? The fila suits, all of that.
Did you have a favorite Rakim song?
My favorite Rakim song? Yeah. I got many favorite Rakim songs. I was just talking to him about As the Rhyme Goes On, because it sounds like, you know what I mean, it just stops you, it freezes you. There's so many phrases there, like even the one Eminem took, you know, I am, you know, I'm the R, the A to the K, I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? You know, that was one of Eminem's biggest records, you know what I mean, without saying Rakim's name. You know, he said, I am, all that say I am, and if he wasn't, you know what I mean, it's so many lines in there. The whole Paid in Full album, the whole Follow the Leader album, you can stop right there. And then, you know what I mean, then you could get to joints like I Want to Know What's on Your Mind, I Seen on the Subway on the Way to Brooklyn. Hey, yo, good looking, is this seat taken? You know what I mean? And the dude is paid in full, but he still said, I seen on the subway. That kept it all the way hood. It was like, yo, because back then the subway wasn't all the way X'd out yet. You know what I mean? It wasn't all the way X'd out. So it was like, I seen on the subway on my way to Brooklyn. The whole story he told was crazy. You know what I mean? So all them joints, man. I think you went real crazy on the Punisher. I think like that one there.
I used to like them wild beats, man.
That was out of control. I play that joint now. It's like the Punisher, dude. That one right there is crazy, man.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite joints, man.
I think that's where you said I got a dead MC in museum.
Yeah,
you said some crazy lines in there, dude.
I love them wild tracks, man. I used to love, you know what I mean? But come on, man, it's like Nas is you know what I mean, watching him come up, do his thing, man, and the joints he dropped ever since, you know, Halftime. Come on, man, Halftime. You know what I mean? See, back in the day when joints like that came on the radio, you know, now we got Hot 97, we got a lot of joints, but back then we had like 12 o'clock noon joint. Your joint come on from 12 to 1. You know what I mean? So you rocking in New York, you know, you playing whatever's on the radio. Every now and then you slap a tape in, but you want to see what's popping on the radio. It's Halftime. You know what I mean? Turn it up to 10, man. Let everybody know, yo, I'm playing hip hop, and not only that, you know, it's official. You know what I mean? And yo, man, you know, Nas, he been doing this thing, man, from The World Is Yours. That's one of my favorite joints, man. You know what I mean? You know, to this day, you could put it on right now and it sound like he made it yesterday. You know what I mean? You know, we can go on, man. Another one of my favorite joints, New York State of Mind. You know what I mean? It's, you know, Nas always been, you know, real conscious of what he say, man. And, you know, I guess that, you know, what his pops put into him, man, it, you know, pours out on the paper, man. You know what I mean? It's, you know, and I'm a technical cat when it come to listening to MCs, man. You know, a lot of brothers, they do, you know, witty things, man. But at the end of the day, you know, you listen to it 4 times, it's like, okay. You know what I mean? But, you know, like I said, you could play Nas, a lot of his joints, man, right now, and it's like, wow. You know what I mean? Still relevant, and it still holds its weight. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, 10 years ago you was like, yo, I was feeling that. Now it's like, you know, the line, nah, man, everything holds its relevance, man. And to me, that's a true MC. And you could tell, you know, he took time into putting his words on the paper because they still relevant today, man.
Paid